So last night I mentioned some solutions that I thought of in meeting the requirements of alternating patterns. Peaks, bottom, then should be peak, bottom. Not that we eliminate consecutive patterns like peak, 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 or bottom, bottom, bottom. So, or bottom, bottom, or peak, peak. So something like that. So we want some alternates, and I mentioned that we could do that without helper columns with the ifs, min ifs, or something like that in the row section for each pattern. So, but I decided to instead use helper columns, create another group in YP1, and and then compare the values, the previous and the next values. So, and the marking would be if the peak would be choosing the highest peak in the consecutive order or the lowest bottom in the consecutive sequence of patterns. And because if I use the other method, the first one, which is just using the min ifs, it would be returning the first. It would be returning the first peak or bottom in the sequence, which may actually not be the highest peak and may actually not be the lowest bottom. So I do need to calculate it. I do need to grade. And also while I was doing the presentation, I realized it could also be dynamic. So this is just referencing the short-term duration, but then I realized, well, we can actually do that for, like, the user can actually choose to do an alternate for the medium or the long term. So you just have to enter L alt or M alt. Or I don't really use, I don't really want to use the medium in the long term. But if I do encounter that as I create these patterns, like you do need to use the longer line segments, like the higher duration. Like for me, the short term suffice, and also it creates more. That's not the point. The point is not creating more patterns, but based on what I read, was actually like the multiple or the double bottoms. I do need the shorter peaks like that. So I guess it just depends. Maybe I would have to change that again, but actually, now that I think about it again, I do need to add more columns, because and not just make it indirect, because other patterns might want an S alt or M alt, because there's so many patterns, and all three might actually be used. So I do need to create another column for medium alt or the long term alt, because all three could be used in different patterns. So the dynamic one is only if there's going to be just one pattern. But since I'm coding all semi patterns, they could all be using different durations. Okay, so I do need to do that, but right now I'm happy with the short-term duration. I think that suffices. That meets the requirements. So this is the fix for that issue I encountered last night.